And introducing our players. In the bottom right, we are going to be seeing Hybrid from the QTclub. And good Lord heavens above, my laptop is steaming away like a steam locomotive. Its fan is on full hype right now, and the keyboard is actually hot to touch. But anyway, in the top left we have from Play4You clan, we have Big Muzzy. I guess that's why it's contributing to this lag, I suppose. Keep in mind that my laptop unfortunately is a MacBook Pro, and it is from 2014, so it's not going to be the best quality. And in fact, it is quite yikes right now with a fan running in the background, like some kind of steam locomotive. I can already imagine like puffs of steam coming out from the back. But anyway, we do see Hybrid. He's gonna go for a gas burst into a barracks build. Very standard. He's going nothing cheesy. He's going to do a little bit of, you know, standard macro style, and it looks like Big Muzzy is and should be starting his spawning pool very soon. Indeed, we do see him starting spawning pool and extractor. And to all of you viewers tuning in right now, I do have 2-minute stream delay as customary, but nothing to worry about. I can still read chat, albeit I will be 2 minutes in the future. I mean 2 minutes in the past, or however stream delay works. I will be able to read chat eventually, and I will reply to you 2 minutes later, unfortunately, which is a big where. Anyway, let's set the score so that we have 1-1 current scoreboard for the clan war, and we're going to see Hybrid's going to be pumping his Reaper out and getting an expansion out. Nothing too special, nothing too special. Nothing too extraordinary coming out from Hybrid, but looks like Hybrid he's looking to dominate Muzzy through some kind of bio play, I presume. In fact, the last time we saw Hybrid playing, I can't remember what he did play, but I can presume that most people like to go bio. It's safe, it's easy, and all you need to do is touch a step and split. Mech is possibly maybe a little harder to play in terms of strategizing. You need to have very good awareness of the map in order to utilize Hellions to the fullest, but nevertheless we're going to see the Reaper running straight back across the map to Hybrid's base actually. And Big Muzzy's Overlord is going to spot everything around here, and it looks like Hybrid, he's going to swap on the factory to the reactor that the barracks built, and Big Muzzy is going to get a third base eventually. But it looks like some Zerglings are going to pose a potential distraction for Hybrid. He wants to pull his SCVs, but he hasn't got his Reaper. Where does Reaper go? I'm not sure. In fact, his Reaper got killed by Zerglings, which is not optimal. He's going to do a little ring around Rosie with his SCV. These SCVs are hiding in the bush, hoping not to be seen, but it looks like Hybrid already is going to take a small income disadvantage. But nevertheless, the Hellions are going to start cleaning up the Zerglings, so that's nothing to worry about for Hybrid at all. But on the other side, we see Big Muzzy. He's just now spawned an additional queen for spread and creep, as per usual. I did think that Big Muzzy is a Master 3 Zerg, whereas Hybrid I think is sort of a Diamond 1, Diamond 2-ish Terran player. So odds are in favor of Big Muzzy here, but I'm sure Hybrid can pull off some amazing stunts after watching Beastie Cutie's mech guides. And hopefully, if Hybrid watches this, he will learn the way of the mech, and he will actually go watch some mech guides before attempting to foolishly recreate Beastie's mech style, but with none of Beastie's IQ, of course. Hybrid is going to start up a supply depot, and his Viking is already out, but he's actually going to start Stim. In fact, he's not going for mech at all. He's going for a little bit more bio, and possibly the reactor on the factory for a little bit more Hellions, or maybe some Widow Mines. Looks like Big Muzzy, he is going for a Baneling as he's trying to play very aggressively. So the Zerglings actually do get a pretty good surround on the Hellions. Hellions are forced to run for their lives, but of course, Hellions versus Zerglings with speed, Hellions will win. And just in case you guys don't know, I have recently upgraded my microphone stand and I've added a pop filter. So if you have any comments about that, or you think the sound is better than before, please let me know in Twitch chat so that I'll be able to recreate this wondrous auditory experience for you next time. Another Baneling is being moved in, and is Hybrid prepared for it? The Zerglings are distracting him. The singular Baneling is going to cause a little bit of a distraction, but this Baneling is not really going to get anything done. Hello everybody, welcome Yepin, welcome Zayad, welcome Koro, welcome Rakirian, the best and most consistent viewers of my stream. You people should get an upgrade to the mod status. I'll make sure that happens sooner or later. But it looks like Big Muzzy is preparing for a huge Baneling and Zergling push. I'm afraid Hybrid might have a little bit too little to hold on to. And it appears that Hybrid is in full panic mode. He's pulled all of his workers, he's pulled all of his marines. He's raising supply depots, but isn't enough. The Zerglings, they're like a bunch of incessant pests that won't go away, but the number of Banelings is just so substantial. But the Banelings are all wasted on killing a single barracks. But it looks like Hybrid might have too little in order to deflect this. It looks like the Marines are going to get eaten by the Zerglings. Big Muzzy is on 3 bases. He's currently establishing his 4th, and he's pumping and pumping these Zerglings and Banelings out. This is just unbelievable. This is yikes. I mean, Hybrid, he's established his 3rd base. Yes, nothing's mining from it. He's lost all of his workers at his natural expansion. I'm just wondering what he's got left in order to deal with this. But the answer might be simple. The answer might simply be he hasn't got anything to deal with it. Ideally, he could pull off these workers in order to make a last ditch attempt, but it looks like Big Muzzy is going to take the victory for the Play4You clan. Indeed, it is going to be a 2-1 in favor of Play4You clan. Very well executed by Big Muzzy indeed. But then again, let's have a look at the score summary. It looks like they were quite even in the score summary, but it looks like Big Muzzy attempting with a huge Baneling and Zergling push. He just absolutely crushed Hybrid in terms of that. Both of them were quite similar in APM, with Big Muzzy actually having a small APM disadvantage, but all in all, Big Muzzy showed us the potential of a good and well-timed Zergling and Baneling push. We are going to be taking a little break here whilst we hop on to our next game, which will be Novichkonik versus Don Carleone. Excellent as usual, and it will be probably quite an exciting game. Novichkonik, I've casted him multiple times before. He's a relatively good Zerg player, and he's got the memes to come with it. And versus Don Carleone, Nick versus the Godfather himself, this will be a matchup for the ages. We are going to wait a little bit for Mr. Novichkonik to come, and of course we're going to have a little detour whilst we wait for our players to come. And this 4th match will be played on Neon Violet Square, and we're going to just simply wait for them a little bit whilst we search for our missing players. Who is Novichkonik? Where is Novichkonik? Let me check in the BeastyQT channel to ensure that Novichkonik is actually here. Looks like he's not, so why not? I'll hop onto Discord and see if he's on Discord as well. Seems like it says that my stream is a little bit the encoding is overloaded, but nevertheless, let's have a look at where is Novichkonik. Looks like my Discord is lagging as well. Oh lord, looks like Nick has probably gone for a beer and he's not back for a couple of moments. And we do really need to start getting our players to be punctual and on time. Or if that's not the case, then we'll be seen as a team of, delinquents who are always late and never punctual. never joining the games on time, just like me. And of course I decided to finish eating dinner before casting, so that means that, well, I'm going to be waiting a little bit before they're actually going to start playing, so. But Novishkonik, he should be up in a couple of moments, I hope, for his sake. In fact, look, what happens if a player is not available for 10 minutes before and after they're supposed to be playing? That means that it is a technical defeat for the player who hasn't shown up. So that would be quite unfortunate. I'm sure nobody wants that to happen. So in fact what we'll do is simply wait a little bit. And if Novishkonik doesn't show up in around 10 minutes, then I'm afraid it will be a defeat for the QT Club. So, how are you people doing today? It is a wondrous and very sunny Monday for me. And I've been, revising and revising all day, albeit I did wake up a little bit late, so there's that as well. Nevertheless, I certainly hope that Nick will turn up. In fact, he's going to be popping on straight on back, and I think we can start our game pretty soon. So let's just see what's happening, and we can in fact invite Nick to the lobby. Whilst we wait for this break is sponsored by Coca-Cola, which I just drank 1 can of Coca-Cola, and of course it provides you with a load of energy. So right now I'm caffeine boosted, and looks like Zayad, he says he prefers to preserve his hands for when I need to be fast rather than being exhausted spamming. Looks like Zayad, he doesn't like spamming. Zayad, he's got to keep those fingers fast, flexible and agile, and he's not a fan of spamming. And our game should be starting in a couple of moments. In fact, this will be in the favor of Don Carleone, who is a master Terran, versus Nick from the QT Club, who is a ZERG. But of course, I always have my money on the QT Club members, because that's how it works, Always support the QT Club. You'll never regret it. In worst case scenario, you'll learn a few meme strategies, which will make themselves into the Guinness Book of Memes. And I think I've casted Novishkonik on Neon Violet Square LE before, and he did play quite a nice macro game on there, but versus a Master Terran, I'm a bit concerned for him, of course. But hopefully he'll manage to do something that will make us proud of being in the QT Club. But introducing our players, in the bottom right we have, from QT Club, we have Novishkonik, your red ZERG. And in the top left we have the Godfather himself with the Protoss portrait. It will be Don Carleone from the Play4You clan. Indeed, he's going to make Novishkonik kiss his hand. And as the Godfather, he must always assume full control over his plebeians. And in fact, Don Carleone, he is going to start off his supply depot already with a gas first, right off the bat. So there's no doubt about what he's going to do. The Godfather always knows what he's going to do, even before he's done it. And of course he must speak with that impeccable accent of his. Novishkonik is going for a hatchery, but the problem with a hatchery first is that he won't be able to establish any aggression, and against a player of a higher MMR and a higher ranking than his own, Novichonic should most optimally utilize some kind of unseen before cheese strategy in order to have a high chance of winning. But Novichonic might be a little bit confident in his macro ability, and thus he's decided to go for hatch first into a spawning pool with an extractor coming right along. But looks like SCV is going to come and scout, and Don Corleone, being the master player is, he'll probably know by the amount of health in the hatchery that Novichonic actually went hatchery first and spawning pool second. So he'll be able to plan on that, and as the Godfather he must always plan ahead, and he must always make sure he doesn't get shot again. Because if he does get shot again, well, that's not very nice for the gangster family, is it? And looks like Don Corleone in fact is going to be the one shooting other people today, instead of getting shot and then suddenly getting shot and falling onto a car, which is not very optimal and not very good for the image of a gangster leader either. But I must say, Novichonic, he's currently being very passive, which I really don't like about it. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more proactive on the map if he is to outplay the Godfather himself. The Godfather is going to get a refinery already, and it seems that he's just going for a very standard macro build with nothing. No strings attached, you know. He's not going to get any fancy Banshee micro or any fancy cloak Banshees, I don't think. But if Nick knows what's up and he scouts properly with his Overlord, which I did see an Overlord here a few moments ago. But Overlord's actually going to hop on about here, and it's going to, you know, fly right on here. And it is going to spot, if Nick decides to float on the Overlord, it is going to spot the starport, but looks like Nick is a little bit too concerned about microing his drone that he decides to make a third hatchery with the drone in order to save it. What is this mind trick? I'm not sure whether the Godfather actually knows that Nick is actually making a third hatchery for real, or if Nick made this third hatchery to prevent his drone from getting killed, but it's too early to know that. And looks like Don Corleone is in fact not going to be shooting people with marines. Instead, he's going to be shooting people with flames of agony, and he's going to be running these high-tech vehicles across the map in order to destroy these disgusting bugs. What he's going to follow that up with? Is he going to get stim? We've still yet to know. He hasn't started stim yet, but it looks like the Hellions are going to start running across the map. And the Godfather is looking to pose a little bit of his alpha male, you know, alpha male style on Novichonic, and he's going to establish himself as the aggressor and the leader. But it looks like Don Corleone actually messed up there, and the Godfather no longer has his alpha male hormones in his body because he just lost all of his Hellions, and he's currently not really doing anything with the excessive Hellions. This Viking is going to be killing this Overlord, and what it's going to do is going to deny Nick a lot of vision, and he's going to dramatically, actually it's going to supply block Nick, and Nick is going to be supply blocked for quite some time. But Nick, he's making the right choice. He's making a lot of Zerglings, he's making a lot of... Is he making a Banelings? Has he made his Baneling nest? In fact, he does have Baneling nest. He should start morphing in some Banelings right now. And from the looks of it, Don Corleone actually has nothing here. He hasn't walled off this side, which is very clever by Nick actually. He chooses to make his army up this side, but will the Hellions spot it? Will the Hellions actually go down and spot the Zergling? It looks like they're not going to, and in fact, the Zerglings are going to run on straight in, and the Banelings should and be able to kill all of the workers here. And it looks like the Godfather decides not to migrate his workers, and instead he's going to sacrifice all of his workers for the greater good. And he doesn't care about it. He's a gangster leader. He doesn't care about his petty subordinates. All he cares about is his reputation. And he can simply write this off as an accident involving gas-infused insects and workers at one of my command centers. And he can write that off, and it'll be in the newspapers, and nobody's going to know that he deliberately killed all of his workers in order to save himself. And mind you, the Godfather is actually in the main command center himself. He's right inside this command center, and he's leading off the operations. And in fact, what we're going to see is Novichonic. He's decided, well, I don't think that Zergling bus went that well, but it did manage to even up supply, and Novochkanic is ahead in workers, but slightly behind on army. Perhaps he could work on that for the future. But the Liberator is actually going to get Novochkanic's Overlord, and other Overlords coming along. Nick should be spotting this, but this Overlord actually managed to escape. I think Don Corleone probably rallied this Liberator on attack move rally point rather than a move shift E command. But then again, the Godfather is going to see everything with this Liberator, including this Queen, which is a little bit out of position, but nevertheless the Queen is going to save this Overlord. What is Novochkanic going to do now? What is his game plan? And it seems that he has no game plan as of yet. He has not gotten his lair yet, and he might be in a little bit of trouble when these Hellions come knocking on his door. Hellions are going to start roasting a couple of drones, but nothing too serious, because it looks like the Godfather himself, he is opting to shoot people today. He is going to build Marines, and he's getting +1 weapons for the Marines. But mind you, Don Corleone lost quite a lot of workers, but it looks like the Godfather's macro is simply too good for Novochkanic, and they're actually even in work supply now, just because of the Hellion harass. These drones are a little bit of precarious position. The drones are going to evacuate, but there seems to be too little. Oh no, these drones are getting roasted one by one. But Novochkanic does manage to clean that up. But I'm a little bit worried for Novochkanic. I mean, Don Corleone, he's got his third base up and running. Not really up and running, he's just got it here hanging about. He's too afraid to expand, simply because of his dwindling army size. But Novochkanic, he's got a lot of Zerglings. He's going to head on out for a Zergling counterattack, and with this number of Marines, it might be a little bit too little for this number of Zerglings, but I think what Don Corleone is going to do is, well, he hasn't walled up properly, but Widow Mines actually do get a fairly good connection, and it looks like Don Corleone is again caught off guard by this Zergling attack. The Marines hurry on home to defend, but it looks like they were just a second too late, and these Zerglings are actually going to run straight into the main base, and they're going to kill a little bit more SCVs and eat their metal carapaces for breakfast. SCVs are made of metal, and they're huge hulking mining machines for the Terrans. Looks like Don Corleone's actually just built this command center just for show. He's just putting this out just to show that he can build a lot of command centers. And it looks like the barracks, additional barracks are going to be added on, but at what cost? I mean, Novochkanic, his supply is dwindling. I'm not sure. He's wasted probably a little bit too much on Zergling counterattacks, but he's taken this time in order to build a lair, and it looks like a Liberator is going to be sieging up, but these queens are going to respond in kind. These queens should not die, but one queen does die anyway. And Novochkanic overreacted there, he pulled a little bit too many drones. Nevertheless, we do see 10 Mutalisks coming along, and with this large amount of Mutalisks and existence of no missile turrets in Don Corleone's main base, it is going to be a little bit terrifying to see. No, Don Corleone, he's not really on top of his macro right now. This command center actually has full energy, which is a big yikes from me and a big thumbs down. But anyway, the Mutalisks are going to swarm right on in, and they're going to eat some SCVs. They're going to flail their whatever weapons the Mutalisks have, their little glaive tails or whatever. But a small amount of Marines actually scares off that large number of Mutalisks. But I'm just saying, well, Novochkanic probably shouldn't sacrifice his Mutalisks like that, but this Widow Mine gets a lucky shot. But I mean, Don Corleone, he's got nothing here, but at the same time, he's actually countering this attack with a large Marine push, and this is just up to whether Novochkanic can deal with it. But Novochkanic, he's lost all hope, and Don Corleone, the Godfather himself, is going to take the game, and is going to be a 3-1 victory in favor of the Play4You clan. Good lord. That was quite a nice hold by Novochkanic, and he managed to put on sufficient amounts of aggression, but in the end, it looks like Don Corleone actually managed to take the victory there. Although, arguably, Nick could have done some things better, but he put up quite an astonishing performance, especially when against the Godfather himself. I mean, who can actually put a fight against Godfather, am I right? But anyway, that was very well played by both Nobishkonic and the Godfather himself, but quite proud of Nick. But it is going to be another devastating loss for the QT Club, unfortunately. Alas, nice things do not happen too much in my lifetime anyway. So that will be it for today. And I believe that despite our losing streak in the past few weeks, we can and will take victories somehow, and hopefully we'll be able to perform better next week. All my bets are on QT Club, and I hope that you guys had an enjoyable time playing as well as watching my cast. And for now, I hope you have a lovely evening wherever you are, or a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.